There was one guy I was dealing with getting a little bit pissy over the kid interrupting the call thing, and I'm like,
Cheerio!
appreciate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, please. Yeah.
My bad. Please continue. It's very alliterative.
They are going to be the ones powering the experiences that every customer has.
Preference has power. I'm pretty sure Cato would say to me when I do every show, stop.
I think he would.
Those peeps are popping. Wait till you get the invoice.
Here. I have a question. When's the last time you danced? When's the last time you laughed?
Right now. I don't want to dance with you.
When's the last time you flew a kite?
Toasted Oreo.
Look at you. You are insane.
How did I do that?
You're
How did I do that?
insane. You're insane.
Can you hear me? I have no idea if this is working. This is so awesome. Talk about just proceeding in life without a safety net. Today, I'm using my Rodecaster. I'm using everything new. I've got sound effects. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear me? I need feedback. I need to know if you can hear me. I need to know. Great. Thank you, Anne. Up my volume. Which volume, Glenn? The volume of my voice or the volume of the crowd? They also do laugh at me. Amazing. So I can. This is the mic on full blast, basically. How's that, Glenn? Is that better? The mic itself is just a little bit off camera, and I'm still trying to figure out the best positioning for it. Based on actually what I have and also what I need. So line one, this is this is line one at maximum. Excuse me. This is what happens when you do morning shows in the morning as well. So tell me what you think. Side effects overwhelm your audio. So we'll put that down like so. How about this one? Let's do the. That's the air horn. You like that? Also, everyone is sleeping because it is Good Friday. So, and I've got a frog in my throat, and I got my vaccine yesterday. So that's great. That's great. The crowd loves me. This is a complete new format. Obviously, this is me being very close to the mic, which is the goal. And I have to figure out how to get the mic closer to me, which I will do. But the hope is that you can hear me okay, like so. And also that I can start doing things like this. A little bit of backup music as I talk, and maybe even when I give my seated soliloquy. Tom Morris wants to hear about rim shots. I can do that for you too, my friend. There it is. So let me show you what I got. I got rim shots. I got this. That's when my jokes don't land. And this is when they do land. I have this. I have this. And then, of course, you know, the ultimate when I have a bad moment. So I love the idea of actually having backup music. Putting it down, obviously. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. The week that was. This is the week that was. This is an opportunity for you guys to be a part of the show and for us to celebrate the week that was. We're going to do a lot of things today. Amazing things. If I ever get my voice back, one is you can join the show. You can join the show. You can actually come on the show, say hi, ask a question, comment, whatever the case may be. All you got to do is go to bit.ly/the week that was and today's date, which will always be the way to join the show. You can even call the show if you want to try that. You can call my cell phone and I'll put you on the show. I'm not even sure if that will work. We can try it today. We're going to try everything today. Today is a great experiment. I mean, this is what I love. I love the fact that we can just build the plane mid-flight. It gives me such joy, so much energy to be able to think about how the show is going to kind of work out and how the show is going to land and what Friday becomes. I actually thought, and I don't even know if Bob Farnham is here today, but he started this thing called Who's Up for Coffee. By the way, hot cup of coffee. This is not going to end well. This episode brought to you by Nescafe in a Starbucks mug. So we have two brand sponsors, Nestle and Starbucks. I was thinking of actually calling this episode either The Week That Was or Who's Up for Coffee. Now, Bob Farnham, he owns Who's Up for Coffee, and I figured that I would give him one Jaffe coin every single time, as a royalty in a way. So let's put up our sound effects a little bit and see if I can remember them. So does anyone want to try and call me? Tom was saying, man, I was going to use your phone number to order pizza, but don't have my phone. Well, if you guys want to call, I should be able to even put a caller onto the show today. It's a little crazy, but I'm good. I'm good. Today is National Reconciliation Day, and I actually thought this was a very appropriate day and an appropriate time. Specifically, okay, hold on. I want to try something. Steve Garfield. And an appropriate time. Steve, you're on the show.
What do I press?
No, just leave it. Oh, I have to mute the show. There we are. Okay. Hey, Joseph, and welcome to Cooking with Steve segment of the Joe Jaffe Weekly Recap Show, where we're making. Today we have some, you can zoom in, Carol. Thank you to my camera person, Carol. We have some Lux here with mushrooms. And then we're going to add some nice scallions. And we have some eggs with some nice dash of salt and pepper. Oh, thank you! So we can just cook that up, and we're going to have a nice breakfast along with Joseph. Thank you.
All right. So for those of you watching at home, Steve, count down from 10 for me, and I just want to make sure. Just count down from 10.
Does he want me to count down to 10?
Yeah, just count down from 10 to 1.
Oh, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so that was just me moving the slider, wondering if his voice actually got softer as I'm trying to figure out the mixer. But I have a few options as well. So here are my sound effects again. And I think
you can zoom in on the food.
Magic Bob for Steve as he makes his eggs. But I'm going to put Steve back into the green room for a second. The number, Glenn, is 917-603-4639. We're just doing everything today. So give me a call. And we'll see if that works too. I love this. This is amazing. I'm freaking out. But why not? This is our first test case. This is literally innovation and experimentation happening live without a safety net, as I was saying. So we'll see if the phone rings. And if so, I'll answer it. But I'll go back to the fact that today is National Reconciliation Day. South Africa knows a lot about this, right? There was a Truth and Reconciliation Committee that dealt with post-apartheid realities and the ability for people to come together again. But I kind of feel like it's a very appropriate day here. We need to figure out a way to reconcile. There were way too many people that posted on Facebook saying, if you support this guy or if you don't support this girl, whatever the case may be, just unfriend me now. I mean, that's how bad it got. That's how divisive it got. It's time now for us to be able to figure out a way to move forward, to reconcile, to put the past behind us and move forward. So I think that's a really, really big one. And I would urge you guys to go and do that. Find find someone who you literally felt, I cannot talk to this person. I cannot be friends with this person. I cannot reconcile their worldviews with mine. I know that we're in a different, we've got a different challenge right now, right? To vax or not to vax, I get it. But at least from a political standpoint, let us try and mend, you know, and rebuild those bridges. I think it's really, really important. Well, let's move on. The Jaffe coin, I mean, this is now, it's out of date. The Jaffe coin is above 220. And I'm telling you, Tom Morris in particular, now is the time. I'm telling you, buy Jaffe coin. Become part of the Jaffe economy, the Jaffe community, Tom. You are a part of it as well. You should take part in it. You should enjoy it. You should reap the rewards of being a part of the Jaffe coin. You know, I continue to think about ways to experiment with the Jaffe coin. And one of the things that I've been thinking of, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is to be able to kind of figure out who comes on the show on a Friday, right? Number one, I think previous guests come on the show. Number two, my regulars. So people like Tom and Glenn and, you know, and people that have been a part of this since the beginning. You know, Bob, Steve. I mean, you guys have been here since the beginning. And then I think people that hold Jaffe coin, you don't even have to send it to me. I'm talking about just holders. If you're part of the economy, then you're part of the economy and you should benefit as such. So if you can see the difference, not asking you to send them to me, I'm saying buy them, they're yours, keep them. I'm able to actually determine and see who owns what. And that might become a basis as well. So just continued experimentation. If you like it, we'll do it. We'll do more of it. If you don't like it, we'll stop doing it. Let me give you a little preview of next week's guests. We got Fanzo himself, Brian Fanzo, will be on the show on Monday. I think I hope that's going to be a 9 o'clock show. I know Greg Lunsford is going to be doing a 9 o'clock show. I'm talking to Freddie and Charisse to see if they want to do nightly shows. Otherwise, those shows will be at the normal time, which is 12 noon. So really trying to move to 9 o'clock. You know, I mean, putting it out there. There should be no secret. I don't keep any secrets from you for the most part. Let's do birthdays. We've got Salvatore Darvi, not to be confused with Salvatore Dali. I mean, I got to check out if this guy's for real. We got Richard Beavers, we've got John James, and Emily Steele, Dana Nachman. And I couldn't do the LinkedIn birthdays because they only come out, for example, you know, around about 10:30, etc. Stephen Rubin is saying, where are my 2 coins? I sent you one. I will send you your 2 coins, Stephen, as soon as the show is done as well. All right, so here's what we're going to do on these The Week That Was shows, or Who's Up for Coffee. We're going to drink coffee. I do enjoy my coffee. I've never been able to drink it with you guys. And we're going to go through the week that was, starting with Monday's show, which was Lou Diamond. Now, Lou was a bit of an experiment. And I've got to say that I really appreciate how game he was, how amazing he was. Because what Lou did is we actually did an Instagram live. And then we did a nightly show where we showed the Instagram live, but it was kind of vertical. It was weird because it was us watching ourselves. It wasn't exactly the best execution, and I learned a lot from it. But boy, oh boy, the insights from this interview were just top dollar. So here's the bite, the highlight.
I have a big distinguishing factor between what a networking is and what connecting is. The best way to think of it is if this is Joseph's world and this is my world, and we met on a virtual environment and we got about this close, right? We basically networked. But at that moment that we networked, we were like this, 2 worlds just touching each other. We weren't really getting to know one another. We didn't know what each other was about, but that's not connecting. What I'm looking to do is actually something I love to call, which is called connect working, which is basically bringing those worlds together, where the 2 worlds are overlapping, where I see into Joseph's world. Joseph sees into mine. We understand how we can add value to each other and how we can help one another. Standing in your shoes, you standing in mine. It is here, right here, that overlap that is actually where growth happens. It is actually where opportunities exist. It is where business gets done.
I really love this idea of, you know, where connecting meets networking is connect working, and these two Venn diagrams coming together. So it looks like we got a call. I'm assuming this was Glenn. Glenn, was this you? I'm going to call you back. I don't know why it didn't come through, but let's see if this works. I hope it works. Hello?
Hello.
Mr. Is that Glenn?
Yes, it is.
Caller? Who are you and where are you calling from?
Can you hear me? It's Glenn.
Yes, I can hear you. Can the people watching hear you, the caller? I'm going to need, obviously, a little image to be able to determine when we have a caller. Maybe something that will go in the top right, you know, like a JAFFE coin. So, Glenn, what do you think about the sound effects and the calling and that, you know, am I failing miserably? Are the crowds laughing at me?
Wait.
What do you think?
The sound effects overwhelm your voice, but here you go.
What do you think? There you go. Wait, I see your crickets, and I raise you more crickets. What do you think of? I've got a Rodecaster Pro too. I know. What do you think of the format?
No, it's good. It's good. There's a bit of a delay between us, but I've lost your. Oh, there you go. So you just need to bring your microphone closer to your mouth somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out. I might have to buy a better boom because at the moment it's kind of falling over. But yeah, just experimenting. All right, Glenn, I'm going to go back to the show.
All righty.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
And that was Glenn. You know, thank God I just called back. I mean, it could have been a direct marketer. I'm not really sure. Steve Garfield. Oh, look at this. Is actually watching me on the big screen. And right now I'm watching myself on the big screen. Steve Garfield, come back into
Steve Garfield. Oh, look at that. Is actually
Wait,
watching me
now I'm
on the
actually
big
watching
screen.
myself
And
because I
right
see
now
the
I'm
image
watching
of myself
myself
in the image of
on the
myself.
big screen.
So anyway, we'll come back to Steve Garfield when he comes back in to frame. Let's keep moving on. On Tuesday, I had the pleasure of Ashley Zeckman coming into the studio. And Ashley actually was going into her office for the first time and spoke about how kind of weird that was and how unusual it was for her. What an experience it was. So she was in her new corporate offices. No one else was there because she actually had a power outage. But we had an amazing conversation about influencer B2B marketing. I have 2 bites for you. This is the first one, which is a brilliant concept of how your customers and your prospects are actually influencers. And when you treat them as influencers as such, there's actually the ability to not only deepen relationships with your customers, but potentially even convert your prospects at the same time. Here is the highlight.
One of the things that I learned very early on in this process from my old boss, Lee Odin of Top Rank, was including those target accounts as influencers, right? So finding ways to interview VP of marketing at XYZ brand and start building the relationship with them that way. So in terms of account-based marketing, that's what I've seen, in all honesty, work really, really well in starting to build that relationship, is featuring these people as experts, because they are experts in their own right. They might not have the following that other brand individual type influencers do, but it's a great way to create a one-to-one connection. One of the other things we look at is, including customers and prospects as influencers, because that really helps people, your target audience, see themselves in the content.
Indeed, this is very meta. Let me give her applause. This is definitely meta, I know, but I thought it would be just a little bit of fun today. Steve Garfield is having his breakfast. Let's bring him back onto screen. Steve, how was your breakfast this morning?
I'm live. Oh, the breakfast, it's almost gone now, Joseph. And I love the experimentation. There we go. Coffee with Joseph. Here we are. Cheers.
I love it. I love just basically just calling on Steve at the most inappropriate times of his breakfast experience. Steve, do not take the phone with you to the toilet. That's all I'm saying. Please do not do that. Let's keep moving on. We're going to go to the bonus bite with Ashley. And this was an amazing conversation. Chris Penn, former guest on the show, asked some incredible questions. And this is a question dealing with diversity and influence and influencers. Watch this clip, and then I'd love to comment on it. How much thought is being given to diversity and inclusion when selecting influencers in your experience? And how much of a consideration should it be so it's not the same old suspects? So, fantastic question.
Yes, I love this question. In the industry at large, I think we're still struggling to really find a way to lift up these new voices. It could be a different category of people that are like up and comers, where they don't have the network size and some of the connections, but they have a story that needs to be told, and we can help lift them up and bring them along as an influencer and help grow their influence.
Brands have the budget, they have the resources, they have the ability, both financially and from a human capital standpoint, to amplify, to elevate, to celebrate and to compensate these creators or influencers. It really struck me that the reason why, just this week, LinkedIn came out with their new creator program. But why are all these platforms and even brands coming out with creator platforms now, more than ever? And I think it's absolutely this strong focus now on diversity, on inclusion, on equity, that we realize that the creator economy, which of course I am so bullish on, there are people that have the talent, but they don't have the resources. They don't necessarily have the means to be able to create. I am mindful of the fact that I have a Rodecaster Pro. I'm mindful of the fact that many people don't and can't. I'm mindful of the fact that the playing field should be level, big time. And every single creator and every person that has talent should have equal opportunity to be able to express themselves and rise. And that is what is happening here. And that's why I love the concept of, what happens when influencer marketing in a B2B context actually is infused with a justice component. Really, really interesting conversation. And I'm glad I was able to capture that in under 60 seconds. Well, let's move on over to Wednesday. Sandra D. Robinson, 3 times a charm. What an amazing conversation about authenticity. My soliloquy that day was focused on authenticity. We spoke a lot about authenticity, the authentic self. This is the first of 2 highlights that focuses on, not the authentic part, but this idea of golf. We were using the idea that golf is a game of errors. And I came up with this interesting insight right at the end, which you will see, and then we can discuss.
Do you golf, Joseph?
Not well.
I learned that it is actually a game of errors. And it's about just studying the error and correcting it and getting closer to your goal. And so if you think of errors as mistakes and growth, what a great thing.
When you actually hit a hole-in-one or a birdie or an eagle, the score is a negative. Why is it a negative? Because you're actually detracting from what the real role or was of the game, which is to make mistakes and learn from them. And so therefore, when you get closer to perfect, the minus score is reminding you to stay humble and recognize that your baseline in golf is to shank, to slice, to break a club and get back to the long walk spoiled.
I love it. It's so true.
Does anybody remember what golf is? When last did you play golf? When I play golf, this is typically what happens to me. Not so good. I actually have a 2-drink minimum and generally a 2-drink maximum when I play golf. A long walk spoiled. But you know, I kind of shared this epiphany, this insight with my family that none of them were impressed. But I still think it's I think it's a big idea. You know, that actually, let me put the sound down on the phone. We're getting little alerts from the phone. This idea that if golf is a game of errors, why are we being, you know, when we score well in golf, we actually get a negative score. And for me, that is just, you know, as I said, a reminder. It is a humbling aspect, which is to say the negative is there to kind of remind you that this game, even if you're Tiger Woods, I mean, you know, obviously pre his accident, it is a game that you have to work at so hard. And even at that level, that does not guarantee success at all. So it was a thought that I want to ruminate on. I want to marinate, and I want to think about how to extend that idea into leadership skills or just advice for, you know, recognizing that our baseline is to be full of errors, right? We talk about embracing failure as entrepreneurs, but what a great analogy. All right, we're going to keep moving on. I've got one more to show you from Sandra D. And this was really about authenticity. And we were talking about imposter syndrome, and we were talking about who is your authentic self. And I came up with a reframe, which you'll see in this bite, which I'm crediting to her because she was the muse that extracted this from my pea brain.
Horses don't have a story that they live in. They don't like your story. They don't understand it. They're right here and now. If you ask them what time it is, they say now. And especially with 2020, I mean, you mentioned all of the chaos around that. Then I think there is, in my mind, I'm so grateful to see this movement towards more abundance of life, more joy, more being on purpose, more understanding that we have a design and that we each have something that we are here to accomplish.
I came up with, I'm going to give you credit for it. Authenticity is being comfortable in the now. And, and I think it is a little bit mindfulness, but I think it's also this idea that when the cameras aren't rolling, when there is silence, when no one's around, can you live with yourself? Can you be comfortable inside your own skin? And maybe that is the authentic self, right? When no one is looking but yourself. So I'm going to play the final soundbite from yesterday's show. What an amazing show. Jeff Kirschner started a company called Literati, and the goal behind Literati is to crowd clean the world, to essentially eradicate litter from the world. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal. That was my soliloquy on Thursday called BHAG. By the way, my soliloquy on Monday was called Thrive, and on Tuesday, Brand Vigil. If you want to actually see or get the scripts for these 4 soliloquies, you can get them through my newsletter. If you want to see all of these sound bites, I produce a piece called TWTW, The Week That Was. At the moment, I'm uploading it on YouTube and also on Instagram. At some point, I may stop doing that and make it only available for coin holders or people that are part of this community, this economy. Would love to hear your thoughts. Do you like that idea? Do you not like that idea? What would you pay for this content? This is all part of the experiment, guys. I saw this the other day on LinkedIn. Be brave enough to suck at something new. What a brilliant statement that just summarizes this game of errors called life, right? Be brave enough to suck at something new, which is, it's, I mean, you know, as a guy who wrote Built to Suck, to me, this is close to home. It is about courage. It is about bravery. It is about the ability to try something new and fail at it. And it implies breaking free from your comfort zone. Just when you get comfortable with something, what was that? I think it was Charles Kettering who said, if you've been doing it long enough, it's probably wrong. It's a reminder for us to continue to evolve. The way that we thrive onward and upward is by continuing to do new things. And that's what is happening today. And that's what's been happening over the last year. So I'd like to show you the final soundbite from Jeff Kirschner, who is freeing the world of litter and refuse. This actually has nothing to do with his business, but it does talk to his motivation and how he became the man that he is today. And it comes from his bartending experience.
Well, to start with the bartending, and I certainly may not have had the social skills of Mr. Tom Cruise, but I could flip a bottle or two. And I think, one of the lessons learned while bartending was just how to deal with many different requests all at once and how to find calm amidst chaos. In fact, one of the greatest pieces of entrepreneurial advice I ever received was when I was bar backing. So we're in this club and it's rather crazy. And this bartender in absolute calm turns to me and just says, "You need to know what I need before I know I need it." And that's a piece of advice that has lasted with me for 20 years, because I think the entrepreneurial spirit is very much that notion, that concept of we need to know what the world needs before the world knows it needs it.
So while that clip was playing, I just got through my Linktree a tip, a sizable tip. And the person who just sent it to me may or may not be watching right now. I'm not gonna tell you what it was right now. I'm not gonna tell you who sent it right now. But I'm just gonna tell you that I'm filled with emotion and gratitude for someone that is, I recently connected Square to my Linktree. I have now the ability for people to buy Jaffe coin and send Jaffe coin. I am trying to walk my talk and be as open and honest and transparent and essentially naked in terms of growing this. But I can't do it without you guys. I can't do it without audience. I can't do it without listeners. I can't do it without community, Mr. Steve Garfield, right? You're back on the show. You see, you just come back on the show.
You're right. Yeah, I should be like this. Oh, there we are. You're right, with community. Now, no shows take advantage of community like you're doing here. Versus having someone all scripted and prepared to talk, I enjoy just being thrown in and being on the show and talking. It's like you're capturing just a normal conversation. I love it.
Well, I listen, coming from you is a monstrous compliment, because you were the original video blogger. I mean, you literally blazed the trail for everyone that has come after you in terms of how to do it and how to do it well and how to do it authentically.
Right.
So, Steve, it has been just an absolute, one of the honors for me over the last year has been reconnecting with you. And I mean, I remember seeing you at Inbound. You just gotten involved with Lord Hobo. You'd taken your whole life in a different direction at that point. I was blown away that Steve Garfield had become an investor and a speculator, a raconteur, and it was just amazing. And it's been fantastic. Just building our friendship and relationship again. So thank you.
I love it too, Joseph. Thank you. You're doing a fantastic job. This is great, and I love this experiment too. I love the constant experimentation in this morning show, and that's why I really loved. It's really fun to jump in and do a little cooking segment.
I like that. Well, I'm gonna basically wind down with. I love this clip. It's called Peace. It's just a really nice backing track. And I might just bring you back on the show. You never know. Thank you, Steve. So this is our little experiment today. You know, experimenting with creator coins, experimenting with community, experimenting with Linktree. It's just, you know, even in conceiving today's show, it was amazing for me, because suddenly thinking, do I bring previous guests on, and what about the phone, and maybe I should do a dry run. And then I thought to myself, you know what, just you know, to quote the great Bill O'Reilly, that's a joke, it's not so great. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. But that's what I did. Just did it live. I decided, you know what, hook the thing up, put the lights on, you know, attempt to have this coming out of my ear and not maybe look so gross. It's an old iPhone, you know, headphones, and play around with side effects and just do it all. Not limp in incrementally, but just do it all. Go all in. As Jeff Cottrell once said, you know, he said, have you ever gone all in? Well, I did. I have. I am doing it right now. The last year of my life, I've gone all in on this. And that tip that I just received, I will never forget it, because it demonstrates the power of being able to stay the course. So I want to thank you guys. I hope you like this format. Well, I'm going to do it next Friday, every Friday at 9 in the morning, and I'll get better. Just like I've been able to go back and look at the last year of my life, every single time. Thank you, Anne. It is, you know, and it's not monetary. That's the beauty of it. It's not monetary. That really is. It is fun. It's about life. It's about love, you know, and it's about joy as well. So thank you, everyone, for being a part of this little experiment. Tell a friend. Let's grow this together. I promise you, as I look to reinvent the variety show in 2021, that I will never, ever forget where I came from. Never. And I will never forget you guys. And I will never change. Never. And you can call me out for it. You can call me out for it. I demand it. I challenge you to call me out for it. If I want to demonstrate how you can build a media platform and a brand without, you know, becoming staid, without checking your humanity at the door, by embracing creators, by really embracing the stories of people, ordinary people that have risen to extraordinary levels. So I think we'll do a little Zoom if you guys want to jump onto Zoom. I've got to figure out how to end this. Can I be Chuck Norris approved?
You are Chuck Norris approved.
I guess I can be. We'll be back on Monday, I think at 9, I hope at 9, with Brian Fanzo. We're going to head on over to Zoom right now. Thank you guys for being a part of this, and I hope it worked out.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.